and talk with me today.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Tell me what you got to say.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
You're so informative and fun.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Yeah, you're the one.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
You're the voice of reason.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Indescribable yet pleasing.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
What's the scoop today in your battle for truth, justice, and the American way? Home health and politics. Conspiracy theories or karate kicks. Intelligent discussions on the issues of the day. But tell them not to call unless they got something to say.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
What's the word for now?
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Can you tell me how?
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Will our team win? I guess it depends on what shape they're in. Home health or politics, conspiracy theories or cement bricks, intelligent discussions on the issues of the day. Tell them not to call unless they got something to say.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Man, you're really cool.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
You ain't nobody's fool.
Hello, Uncle
You live by the golden rule. When there's a fiery discussion, you supply the fuel.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Man, you're really hip.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
You don't take no lip.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Man, you got it under control. If there's one thing you got, it's a lot of soul. On the thing we like about you, Uncle Henry, if you have a caller who's particularly pugnacious, quarrelsome, contentious, belligerent, truculent, or scathingly harsh, you simply disconnect the lines of communication. Oh, yeah. In other words, you hang up on the fool. Yeah. You're the Duke of Decorum, the Prince of Propriety, the Emperor of Excellence, the Sultan of Sensibility, and the Maharaja of Magnificence. Ba-do-do-do-do-do.
Uncle Henry.
Oh, yeah.
Taking pride in Mobile, taking pride in Mobile. Come on, let your spirit show. Taking pride in Mobile. We're growing, shining, winning, so we're taking pride in Mobile. We're over young, we're fast and slow, and we love watching our future grow. Let's tell the world so they will know, and we're taking pride in Mobile. And wherever I may go, I'll tell them I'm from Mobile. We're over young, fast and slow, and we love watching our future grow. Let's tell the world so they will know, and we're taking pride in Mobile. And wherever I may go, I'll tell them I'm from Mobile. Taking pride in Mobile, taking pride in Mobile.
Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo woo! Very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo woo! Very cool junction. I will return.
On Spring Hill Avenue at Mobile Infirmary Boulevard. We also have an accident on East Olive Road at North Davis Highway. On the Foley Beach Express from Highway 59 to Canal Road, it's an 18-minute drive. South on Highway 59 from I-10 to Gulf Shores, 49-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
What if I can guarantee the price of Bitcoin will be $1 million in 2030? Well, I can't, but I can guarantee you'll save a lot of money on blinds at my company, Blindster.com. Free samples, free shipping, and guaranteed to fit. Shop at Blindster.com today.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
The Uncle Henry Show, weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
We
wish you well. We wish you well. We wish you well. And we hope that wherever you are safe and well. Ooh, that makes me feel good on the inside to wish all of my friends well.
This is the Uncle Henry Show. Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. You can also look at the Uncle Henry Show live video available on YouTube. Just look for Uncle Henry Show on YouTube and you will see the video of me struggling as I attempt to broadcast. Once again, here we are together, me and you. Just the two of us here trying to figure out what on earth is going on. What is going on in the world today, the world in which we live? What is going on? Telephone number if you'd like to call into the program with some. If you want to bring something up, feel free to do so. 251-479-2723. I do not really give a flip. And I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I really don't have a flip to give in terms of what you bring forward in a phone call, as long as your phone call is not pornographic in nature. I don't want any kind of calls about human reproduction or anything like that, or anything scatological. But other than that, whatever you want to bring forward, we will deal with here on the Uncle Henry Show. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Got plenty to get into. Yesterday, I spent a lot of time on the city council meeting because they have this wonderful, I love the whole rent dispute between the city and the county. I don't know why, but it's one of my favorite local governmental stories of the past many, many years. In fact, we'll get more into it here in this hour of show. But we've got much to talk about aside from that. Before I get into any of it, let me see if I have a living caller here. I love talking to the living callers. Hello, caller.
Hey, Henry, Jimmy the Economist.
Jimmy the Economist, congratulations to you as a Georgia Bulldog fan on your football victory.
How about them dogs? They put a belt to that Tusky rump. That was very enjoyable to see. I actually heard old Chris from West Loxley, 58-year-old, 63-year-old, on Feinbaum. He says he's from Gulf Shores, but I heard him give me a little verbal abuse after Georgia lost by 3 points earlier this season, and it's about time to give it right back, Chris. How about the negative 3 yards rushing for the entire game? Did y'all come prepared, or do y'all just suck?
That was the most astonishing and most disgusting stat that I've ever heard from a Bama game. It was disgusting. That stat was disgusting. Yes, it was.
If I was Ty Simpson, I wouldn't want to play Georgia ever again unless they replace the entire line. He took it in the chin at least a dozen times. None of it was called targeting, unfortunately, but Georgia had 8 penalties. Bama had 1. How fair was that? But anyway, we came out victorious. And, Chris, hope you're listening. Go Dogs. Sick M.
All right. And then there he goes. He hangs up on... And yes, listener, now I'm an Alabama fan. Roll Tide, roll! I'm an Alabama fan, but I find it difficult. Yes, I was very disappointed in the game. Very disappointed. That stat, the rushing stat, one of the most shocking stats. If you were to tell me, I just would never have believed that stat would ever exist in any era of Alabama football. The rushing stat, just never would have thought it would have ever happened. How could it? How could that happen? But yes, I can laugh, and I'm not letting it bother me because Alabama has. I mean, as an Alabama fan, how do you top what we just lived through during the Saban years? How do you top that? So you win. So at this point, when Alabama wins, at this point for me on a personal level, it's just extra gravy. It's after all the accomplishments. Yes. And it's fun. It's fun to see somebody like Jimmy get excited about football after being so downtrodden all those years, just down there, just having a terrible time as a Georgia fan, never being able to achieve what they want to achieve. So it's anyway. I'm of course hoping for Alabama victory when Alabama plays Oklahoma again. I believe it is next Friday, not this Friday, or is it this Friday or next? Whenever it is. Now, speaking of that Georgia game, let me go to the voicemail. We heard from longtime caller Jimmy the Economist. Here is 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley with his reaction, phoned in after Alabama lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game.
Roll Tide, Uncle. Well, Uncle, that could almost be described as a disgrace.
Yes.
It certainly was pitiful. Pitiful. But you win some, you lose some.
Yes.
You just hope you don't lose too many like that. Oh, and by the way, congratulations to Jimmy the Economist. We split with you this year. So congrats to you all. Now we get to find out. Well, I guess they'll announce it during church time tomorrow.
Yes, this call made before they announced the playoffs.
Wonder how many people have their cell phones. Hey, see if or not Alabama gets to go into the playoffs. I'm kind of split on that myself. On one hand, I feel like they still deserve to go. On the other hand, they don't. We shall see here in a few hours. But on to season 3 of the DeBoer regime. Hopefully changes are a coming. Not with him now. I'm okay with him, but there's going to have to be some changes and adjustments made. Stay tuned. Roll Tide, roll, buddy.
All right, 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley, thank you. I see that you, similar to me in your reaction to the game. At this point, you win some, you lose some, and there was some disgrace in terms of that running game in particular. But there is more football to be played. Looking forward to the more football to be played. All right, there's more to get to as the Uncle Henry Show proceeds forward here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Back after the break.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Watch for an accident on Spring Hill Avenue at Mobile Infirmary Boulevard. We also have an accident on East Olive Road at North Davis Highway. On the Foley Beach Express from Highway 59 to Canal Road, it's an 18-minute drive. South on Highway 59 from I-10 to Gulf Shores, 49-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is...
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking in on YouTube. Glad to be back on YouTube. Hello to Bama Big Man. Chuck bringing his maturity and common sense to the chat. Chuck, Bama Big Man, Larry Morting. The Love Freak 69. Richard Harvey. Steve Summersell. Good to see Steve Summersell. Moon Fairy, JD, thank you all. And KP of shirtbrother.com, thank you all for looking in on YouTube. Programming note for video. This is the last day of the week there will be video of the Uncle Henry Show, because tomorrow and Friday we're doing the St. Jude Radiothon on 95 KSJ, raising money to help fight cancer. So that is going to be, there will be a new Uncle Henry Show tomorrow, just no video for it. But this room will be utilized by 95 KSJ the next couple of days, doing the Radiothon for St. Jude. So even though there's a new Uncle Henry Show tomorrow, the next time I'll be on video will be Monday. Next time I'll be on video is Monday. So don't be looking around on YouTube or Facebook for me tomorrow. You probably won't find me. Now, also tomorrow, so we're doing the Radiothon for St. Jude. And then tomorrow night, I'm going out to downtown Mobile because 95 KSJ is presenting a country and western artist named Drake White at Soul Kitchen tomorrow night. So I'll be in downtown Mobile with Shelby, going up on stage introducing this guy, Drake White. So an exciting time for somebody. I don't know who, but somebody will get something out of it somewhere. All right, let's see. What can I tell you before I go back on the radio? I'm going to be back on the radio in a couple of minutes. Oh, Moon Fairy, yes, I'll be back next week. I'll be back next week. No, Drake White. Not Drake. It'll be Drake White. Drake White. Born in Hoax Bluff, Alabama. 68-year-old Chrissy, you been around Hoax Bluff? The interesting thing, at least to me, not to you, but the interesting thing about this guy is he's a songwriter. He had 3 hits on the radio, was doing pretty good, was opening up for big artists around the country. And in 2019, the guy had a stroke. And he has a rare vascular disorder. And so it's taken him since then to get back in the swing of things.
Sponsored by Arroyo Grande with Raymond Arroyo.
I'm Raymond Arroyo. I'd like to invite you to my new podcast, Arroyo Grande. Discover life lessons, practical advice, and inspiring examples to live by as I sit with celebrities and thought leaders you'll absolutely love. Listen to Arroyo Grande wherever you get your podcasts.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Telephone number 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Yesterday, spent a lot of time talking about this rent dispute between the city of Mobile and Mobile County, arguing over how much the city of Mobile should have to pay in rent to the county to be in that awful, awful government plaza. Now, there was a story. Fox 10 did a story on this last night that was on, I think, at 9 o'clock last night. And I wanted to see this story because the what they have on their website, the headline on the story is Taxpayers React to Mobile Rent Dispute. So I got excited because I like hearing from other taxpayers. I would say every day of my life, I find something to be irritated about the way my tax dollar is spent in this country. Somewhere right now, there is a government person misspending my tax dollar. I know this to be true. It'll be on some level. If it ain't on the city level, it'll be on the county level, state level, federal level. There's someone at some level is misspending my tax dollars. I mean, I just know that it's happening. So when I saw the headline, I went on the Fox 10 website, fox10tv.com. I saw the headline, Taxpayers React to Rent Dispute. I thought, all right, good. I'm going to get to hear from some other taxpayers. There's some other people like me that don't want their tax dollars thrown down a civic toilet. So let's listen together. I've got the story here, and there's a reason I want to play some of this for you. The headline, Taxpayers React to Mobile Rent Dispute. Let's listen.
First, growing tension and the
growing tension. So there's already the tension is growing.
First, growing tension and the ongoing rent dispute between the city of Mobile and the county.
Commissioners now say the city is delinquent on rent for its space at Government Plaza, the city's main meeting hub. The county says it wants to nearly double what the city pays.
It is to cover the true costs of operating that building. Our Claudia Nichols is joining us now from.
So Claudia Nichols is downtown. No, it's like I think they went to her. I don't know. I don't know that anybody was even working in the building, but there she is.
Government Plaza tonight.
And Claudia, you've been getting the public's thoughts on this bizarre controversy.
All right, I got to stop there. So he says you've been getting the public's thoughts on this bizarre controversy?
You've been getting the public's thoughts on this bizarre controversy.
What is bizarre about it? Is the concept of paying rent bizarre to the public now? Is the public, have we raised people up? The young adults now don't even understand the concept of paying. What is this? What's bizarre about it?
You've been getting the public's thoughts on this bizarre controversy.
All right, well, to somebody, it's bizarre. All right, the public. So to me, now the headline says taxpayers, and then he says, you've been getting the public's thoughts. So I'm thinking, wow, we're going to hear from a lot of people here.
I have Lanason Cameron. Several people have told me they had no idea the city, also known as taxpayers, was even supposed to be paying the county for rent.
All right, now, did you hear what she just said? She said that several people told her that they had no idea that the city even had to pay rent. Really? All right.
And now, as different options for a resolution are being discussed, more questions are coming to light.
I had no idea that they were paying rent. I had no idea there was so much money and that it had gone up.
All right, so this is the first person, the first taxpayer reacting to the rent dispute, because that's what I wanted to see was taxpayers reacting. First taxpayer is somebody that had no idea.
I had no idea that they were paying rent.
Well, then why is he in the story? Wouldn't you want to interview people that kind of knew, had a general idea that they were paying rent? No, they found a guy that didn't know. I didn't know.
I had no idea that they were paying rent. I had no idea.
Well, why is he in the story then? Now, spoiler alert. I know you're just itching to hear this story, but spoiler alert. There's no other taxpayer is interviewed in the story. The only person I get to react to this didn't even know. I don't know. Didn't know they were paying rent.
I had no idea that.
All right, that's all I get. The no idea guy. Look, I want to volunteer to the TV stations, all of them. If you're looking for somebody that doesn't know about stuff, I would hire me. I'll come and I'll be the guy. You can get me a little office. It doesn't have to be big. I don't even need a desk. I just need a chair Just give me a little office in your building, and I'll be the guy that doesn't know about anything. And then whenever you want to get reaction to any news story, I can be the guy. Obviously, you don't need to know. If you don't need to know, then anybody. I would like to volunteer for this. I want to be the guy that doesn't know, and then you don't have to go and find somebody in the street. You can say, well, for more comment on this story, let's go to Henry. He's sitting out here. Henry, what do you think? And I can say, well, I didn't even know that bears were coming into the neighborhood, or whatever the story is. We want reaction. We want reaction on the opening of McGregor, and then you can come to me, and I can say, well, I didn't even know McGregor was ever going to be reopened. Please. TV stations, contact me. I'll be glad to be the guy that you interview for these stories. All right, back to the person. Reaction for people that don't know nothing.
And my thoughts are, where are they going to go? They're not going to pay the rent, go somewhere else. Where space is there?
Tonight, a rent dispute between the City of Mobile and the Mobile County Commission is no longer behind closed doors. A pair of county commissioners raised concerns Monday, saying the city is behind on paying rent for Government Plaza. The county owns the building on Government Street downtown. The city rents administrative offices and courtrooms there, meaning taxpayer dollars are on the hook for that rent. According to the county, the city owes about $823,000, an amount that's hard to ignore. The county commission released this statement today saying for years the city's been paying well below the real cost to operate Government Plaza. And now with...
Now, why would you do that also? Why would you let your tenant pay well below for years? Why would you do that? Just being friendly? Is that it? Just being friendly? All right, anyway. I love this story. I do. And one of the aspects I love about this story is the educational aspects of this story, because clearly we needed this story to occur just so the taxpayer could be educated on how government works.
I had no idea that they were paying rent. I had no idea there was so much money and that it had gone up.
Did you know? I want to find this guy and ask him, did you know that the people making these decisions are actually selected by taxpayers in something called an election, where you actually get to vote on who you want to go in there to make the decisions?
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Watch for an accident on Spring Hill Avenue at Mobile Infirmary Boulevard. We also have an accident on East Olive Road at North Davis Highway. On the Foley Beach Express from Highway 59 to Canal Road, it's an 18-minute drive. South on Highway 59 from I-10 to Gulf Shores, 49-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Bakke.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle, founder of Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 to make quality, custom-made blinds affordable to everyone. Traditional window covering retailers are expensive. Our prices are low, and our blinds are guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
Hello, I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News. The Fed reduced its key interest rate for a third time in a row, but signaled it may leave rates unchanged in the coming months. Fed officials say they expect to lower rates just once next year. Today's cut reduced the rate by a quarter point to about 3.6%, the lowest it's been in nearly 3 years. Lower rates from the Fed can bring down borrowing costs for mortgages, auto loans, and credit cards over time, though market forces can also affect those rates. A Mobile man facing multiple charges after police say he led them on a chase, hitting a police car and another vehicle in the process. Now, police say they tried to stop a car on Bernice Hudson Drive yesterday. They say the driver, Tyler Taylor, did not pull over, and that led to a chase, ending on Kelly Street. Taylor was arrested and booked into Metro Jail. He is facing several charges, including attempted assault and attempting to elude police. He's due in court on Thursday. Mobile police need your help finding a man wanted for assault. It happened on Gill Road near Dauphin Island Parkway. Police say Marion Galloway and his father had a dispute with the victim. During this, police say both men assaulted the victim, leaving him in need of medical attention. So if you know where he is tonight, call the Fox 10 Fugitive Files hotline. That number, 251-208-7211. And we have more details about this on our website, fox10tv.com. I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News on the iHeart radio station.
During the holiday season, Wreaths Across America is honoring our country's fallen heroes. Jim Faraday has more.
At the state capitol, a special ceremony remembered those who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to America. Tom Long is president of the Blue Star Foundation.
In cemeteries throughout this nation are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom without fear. We can worship as we see fit. We can raise our children to believe as we do. We can travel from one end of this great nation to the other and do not have to ask permission to do so.
Governor Kay Ivey says family members, friends, and volunteers will help adorn the grave sites at the Alabama National Cemetery in Montevallo and at other veterans' graves statewide in a tribute to those who have guarded and preserved our nation's freedom. I'm Jim Faraday.
And Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer getting ready for the playoff game against Oklahoma. In 2 meetings between the teams in 2 years, Alabama has not been able to get the W. DeBoer says in the last game, 3 turnovers spelled defeat.
We moved the ball much better this year in different ways, and we'll take some of those things and build off of them, and then we just again got to understand what really hurt us and how we got to counter that.
Kickoff from Norman, Oklahoma, next Friday, 7 p.m. I'm Leah Brandon.
This is News Radio 710, WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. The Federal Open Market Committee wrapping up its 2-day meeting, deciding its move on interest rates. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell detailing why the committee decided to cut rates by 1/4 point.
Although important federal government data for the past couple of months have yet to be released, available public and private sector data suggests that the outlook for employment and inflation has not changed as much since our meeting in October.
This cut brings the federal funds rate to a range of 3.5% to 3.75%. President Trump said afterwards the nation is capable of doing better.
We should be able to do a lot better than 3 and 4. We're scheduled to be at 4%, which is pretty amazing because we have a deadhead Fed hair. I mean, this guy. The head of the Federal Reserve is a stiff.
Reports suggest since October 1st, the U.S. has collected nearly $70 billion in tariff revenue. America's listening to Fox News.
YouTube viewers going to be back on the radio here in about 90 seconds. Let me see what I can tell you. First, let me see if you're actually there. And hello, yes, I have a small number of people looking in. Pat Nelly looking in on the program. Ben Griffin. Great to see Ben Griffin. This past weekend, the youngest person to attend the Friendsgiving event. All right, back on the radio here in about 30 seconds.
Person have one. Now, it fires potent kinetic and aerosol rounds that can stop any attacker in their tracks or up to.
I tuned into the Sean Hannity one day last week. I got the impression that it was the whole thing was a commercial. Is it?
Safety is priceless. Visit byrna.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's byrna.com.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. You can also hear me on FM radio. Monday through Friday, I play country music on 95 KSJ. I'm on there between 10 and 2, Monday through Friday, playing Morgan Wallen, Kenny Chesney, Luke Combs, then additional Morgan Wallen. Tomorrow, if you tune in tomorrow, you'll hear me play some country music there on KSJ. But also tomorrow, we're having the St. Jude Radiothon, the Radiothon to raise money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. That is going on starting tomorrow on 95 KSJ. Telephone number to call here, the Uncle Henry Show, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry, Navco Bill.
Navco Bill, you are live on the radio.
Hey, Uncle Henry. I would have thought, like, I don't know, back when I was in high school in 1985, graduating, we had a city government. There was a city whatever. I think it was a different form of government. But I would assume back then that they would have thought there was going to be a city government for many, many, many years, and you would, I don't know, buy a municipal building, put out, municipal bonds to pay for it, something like that, finance it. Kind of like how people take out a mortgage on a house.
Right.
And then eventually you own it and you're not paying rent. What is wrong with these people? I mean, I know, young Mayor Spiro's new and all that, but maybe he can straighten this out and get a facility that, doesn't leak. Maybe it's a little smaller so they could downsize some of the government that we don't need and, get some municipal bonds going, pay for it, and then you own it and you don't pay rent 20-something, 30-something years later.
Yes. To all of the above. I agree with all that. And I think I read an interview. I either read this from young Mayor Spiro in Lagniappe or heard him say it. I think he brought up the point you just brought up, that why would we want to continue pay? Why would we want to pay a 90% rent increase and we're not getting any kind of equity at all? It's just continued money out the door. So this
Amen, young Mayor Spiro.
Yeah. Well, this is an opportunity if they did decide to go in that direction. And this may be one big negotiation and they'll end up in that government plaza again for another 30 years or something. But this would be an opportunity. You mentioned downsizing, an opportunity to change the way you do things and maybe for the better by looking for different space.
Yeah, and then there's one other point, and maybe Jimmy the economist could chime in on this. If the city is paying the county, isn't that kind of like taking money out of your left pocket and putting it into your right? I don't get it, because they're all, paid for by the taxpayer.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't get that. Like, one complaining, hey, I'm getting shorted by the city, but you're all taxpayer funded, meaning you don't really add to the GDP, and you're taking it from us, the taxpayer. So, anyway, get their stuff together, and oh man.
Hey, there's another story. Yesterday, speaking of, you were talking about from the taxpayer standpoint of one governmental entity paying rent to another one, and we're on the hook with both of these entities. The mayor announced yesterday that the city of Mobile is joining a lawsuit with other cities. There are cities suing the state over how internet sales tax revenue is distributed.
Yeah.
Now think about this. You're going to sue, if you're a taxpayer in Mobile, you're going to be, some of your tax dollar is going to go to pay lawyers to sue the state, and the state is going to use some of your tax dollars to pay lawyers to defend from that same lawsuit.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wish it was back, like the good old days where when you mail ordered something, it was tax free. And I don't know how things changed. I don't know how it came about, but and the formula thing, and I've heard all about that in the news, so, Mobile, because Mobile's getting X and Summerdale's getting Y, it's not fair. Good luck figuring that out, because government entities can't figure out how to do anything efficiently with money, it seems like.
Well, can't even figure out how much to charge for rent. Apparently, if we're under, we're going to undercharge you for 5 years.
Yeah, well, now if it was a lease, a lease is a lease. It's locked
Right.
in.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, sign a quote unquote 5-year lease X, and then a year later they go, well, unless there was a provision in the lease that said, hey, we can charge you the actual cost. If you sign now this is in the civilian world, right? If you sign a lease for somebody for, say, $1,000 a month rent for a house or an apartment or whatever it is, and you sign a 3-year lease, that's what it is.
Right,
And
absolutely.
if the cost of taxes go up and the landlord's crying in his, Wheaties, hey, go pound sand, adjust the rent in 3 years when the lease is up.
Well, I love this story. It's so educational, isn't it? We're all going to learn.
Yeah, I used to have rentals, and believe me, toilets and tenants and taxes are no fun.
No, they are
So
not.
You want to invest in storage units because if they don't pay, you auction it off and you make money.
Very good. See, now you, the listener, you've already gotten a tip from this show right here. Storage units.
Well, have a good evening, Uncle Henry.
All right, Navco Bill, thank you very much for your phone call. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. You're on the Uncle Henry Show. Well, it'll be nice to see. It'll just be fun to see how this negotiation goes and how far the city goes in exploring other options. I do remember, and I don't know how much space the city has out around the city in different properties owned by the city. And what I mean by that is the last time Mayor Stimson came on my show, it was years ago. He stopped coming to this show. But the last time Mayor Stimson was on the Uncle Henry Show, he wanted to come in and talk about, his topic that he wanted to talk about was how many unfunded liabilities the city has with properties all around the city. And what I mean by that is buildings that the city has to take care of no matter what. At the time, Ladd Stadium was one of those unfunded liabilities, at least in the eyes of the mayor, in terms of costing us a lot of maintenance money and what are we getting out of it. I wonder how many buildings the city has out there, how many properties they have. It's maybe if this had come up 5 years ago, well, never mind. I almost said something tragically dumb, and I caught myself. One of the first times I've ever caught myself. Usually I just say dumb things and they roll out, and then I have to deal with the consequences. Thank you, Lord, for helping me catch myself on that one. Anyway, again, looking forward to seeing how far this goes and what we can all learn as citizens, not only about our local government and the decision-making capabilities of our leaders, but also just about being a landlord and being a tenant and all that kind of stuff. Residential real estate versus commercial real estate versus, I don't know, is governmental real estate different? We'll all learn together. All right, back with more Uncle Henry Show after the break.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
And it's slow in Mobile on I-65 North. Crews are on the scene of an accident in the right lane approaching Spring Hill Avenue. It's about a 4-minute delay from I-10 up to 165. Also on Highway 98 from Daphne to I-10, it's a 12-minute drive. I'm Lisa Baque. Follow us on X, Total Traffic Gulf Coast.
This report.
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking in. Let me see. Let me check. Make sure there's still at least one person watching. And yes, there's at least one person watching. Pat and Ellie enjoying an avocado. You know, Pat and Ellie, I would like to learn to have avocados too. But you know, when I was a child, there was no such thing. At least not here. They were not anywhere around here. It was just something that I was not raised around. So I come to avocados late in life. All right, let's see. What can I tell you, those that are looking, while waiting to go back on the radio? I'm back on the radio here in about 3 minutes. Let me go in, of course, first to the weird news file. Hyundai is recalling some cars, the Genesis G90 luxury sedans. They're recalling only the ones painted in a specific shade of silver. I've never heard of a car recall due to a paint, but it's a specific shade of silver. And the reason they're doing it is because the paint contains aluminum flakes that reflect radar signals. And it makes the car, while you're driving it, think that there's another vehicle in the lane next to it. Cars have changed to the point that I'm sure that one day before I pass, I shouldn't be so sure, but one day before I pass, I probably won't know how to look under the hood. I won't be able to figure it out at some point, the way they keep changing cars. So the paint, it's causing the car to think that there's another car right next to it. All right, let's see. In Beijing, China, you think about how, well, I might have to save this story for the air. It has to do with infrastructure. There was in the prison in Bishopville, South Carolina. You've heard of drones, of course. Someone used a drone to try to deliver weed, and I'm calling it that because it's in the story in front of me. Marijuana. The drone was delivering marijuana, tobacco, crab legs, and steak. So whoever it is in prison, they didn't just want marijuana and cigarettes. They also wanted steak and crab legs. And somebody tried to drone it in. No arrests have been made yet.
American Stories.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories.
Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTM, an iHeartRadio station.
This is the Uncle Henry Show. News headlines coming up here in 10 minutes, and then more Uncle Henry Show. Tomorrow on the Uncle Henry Show, a return visit from Mobile County Sheriff Paul Birch. Going to talk to him. Let's see. I'm probably going to ask him about the usual holiday safety tips and all that kind of stuff, but I'm also curious about how bad he thinks Mobile drivers are. We'll get into that with Sheriff Paul Birch tomorrow on the Uncle Henry Show. 251-479-2723, the telephone number, 251-479-2723. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hey, you are live on the radio.
Hi, it's Christmas time. You should be playing Christmas music.
Well, next week I'll be playing Christmas bumper music. Yes, indeed.
That's awesome. Hey, can I sing you a Christmas song?
Well, sure. I love when people call in and sing or play musical instruments, so please go right ahead.
Yeah, okay. Jingle bells, jingle balls, swinging between my legs.
Hey! Don't you dare! Don't you ever do anything like that again, taking this holiday, the Christmas holiday, where people that were raised like me mark the birth of the baby Jesus. Don't ever do that. Don't ever try and turn that into something perverted like that. You know, it's a shame that you didn't get disciplined. Whoever that was obviously was not disciplined enough. Not disciplined enough. And I don't want to go any further because it is Christmas time and the harsh truths and realities of how that person should be disciplined. Maybe today a caning would help. But I don't want to talk any more about it because people want to be in a nice, pleasant Christmas spirit and all that kind of garbage. All right, after that, all right, let me just go to a voicemail. That last call left a very foul aftertaste. So let me go to a voicemail. The voicemail number 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976 to leave a voicemail message for the Uncle Henry Show.
Henry, this here's Giffy. Henry, when the gas station up here in Saraland, the QT,
Oh, by the way, for years ago, the trend was to have a giant big box drugstore on every corner. And we got all these big box drugstores that tried to pop up on every corner. Now, most of them are gone. And now, what is the new trend is putting in gigantic gas stations like Wawa's and QT's and all that kind of stuff.
my favorite gas stations. Henry, no, they didn't have no peppermint, but I didn't call about that. But Henry, they got one of them robots that wash the floor.
All right, so Buford reporting that there's a gas station in Saraland, the QT, that has a robot washing the floor.
That wash the floor?
Yes.
Daggum thing rolls all over that store, has fake digital eyeballs that blinks and says, some robot voice, I'm cleaning the floor, welcome to whatever. Henry, daggum robot ran over my foot. You know...
All right, now, I don't know what the rest of this message is going to tell me, but Buford, a robot runs over your foot. Isn't this lawsuit? Now, I'm not suggesting you file one. I'm just saying, how could any business have something like that rolling around if it could somehow accidentally roll over someone's foot? We live in a very, very, very litigious society.
That might be a small thing, but that is exactly how it begins, Henry. I'm telling you, having all these robots and these daggum machineries doing human tasks, we've had many movies warning us that it does not end good.
True.
Man, we need to watch out, Henry. We got robot mops and robot lawnmowers, and telling you, everything's interconnected. They're going to start talking to each other, find out we're in the way of them living their best robot life. Anyway, Henry, I'm going to start piling up ammunition that is specifically designed to have exceptional penetration through hard barriers. Because I will be ready when the rise of the machines takes place. You have a good day.
All right, Buford, thank you for telling me about that. I want to know more, because it doesn't, if the robot can run over your foot, it just sounds like a tremendous liability for any business. All right, coming up, we have news headlines and then more Uncle Henry Show. I want to talk a little bit more about that internet sales tax stuff and many other topics. Uncle Henry Show continues after the break.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. The saga over the controversial departure of Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin for rival LSU spilled out into the House of Representatives recently. Democrats believe Kiffin bolting for LSU helped sidetrack a bill to oversee pay in college sports. With so many pressing subjects, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries questioned why LSU graduates and superfans, House Speaker Mike Johnson and Majority Leader Steve Scalise pushed a bill about money in big-time sports. The House was set to debate a bill establishing national standards for NILs and student athletes, referring to name, image, and likeness. But critics say the bill hurt players and helped major sports schools like LSU. Jeffries questioned whether, quote, big donors connected to LSU pushed Johnson and Scalise to bring up the bill. Scalise denied that Kiffin's situation had anything to do with the House yanking the bill from the schedule. GOP Texas Representative Chip Roy said the Kiffin situation is, quote, emblematic of problems in college sports. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
If you were wondering what the government was doing, nothing. Thank you for watching. No video until Monday due to St. Jude Radiothon. Thank you, though, for watching. Have a pleasant tomorrow, and the sheriff is on the show tomorrow evening.